everyone to the Outtakes Movie Podcast, where we're going to go through every single movie ever made and rank them objectively best to worst. I'm joined as always by my elite team. Amelia, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Joe, how's things?
Yeah, it's alright, yeah, not too bad.
And Mr. Smooth and Sexy, Jacob, how's things?
Oh, come on. Alright, yeah, I'll take that, that's fine. Brilliant.
So, today, we are going to be talking about a little movie called Free Fire. I advise everyone to have watched it already, because we're going to be spoiling the whole thing, and let us know what you think of the movie in the comments below as we go through it. Amelia, tell us all about Free Fire.
Hello. Okay, so we're obviously, those who don't know about Free Fire, we're going to do a bit of background because the film is rather short in the sense that it's only an hour and a half, I think, and there's not necessarily a plot, there's not necessarily character progression, none of like the fancy stuff that we've spoken about in the past. It is literally just take your brain out, watch a funny film and just relax. So we're going to do a bit of background on it first. So obviously it was directed by Ben Wheatley, who has done such films as High Rise, Kill List and Sightseers. I don't know if you guys have heard of any of those films.
I've seen High Rise.
I've heard of them all,
seen
but
it.
I've not seen any of them.
Okay. So this film came out in 2017. And it was actually, I was watching something today. You know Radio 1 does that... I don't know if it's on the radio, it must be at the same time, but they record it and put it onto YouTube and onto iPlayer. It's with that Ali, I can't think of, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it begins with a P. The Movies That Made Me. You've probably seen clips with other directors and actors.
Yeah.
The Martin Scorsese one dropped either yesterday or today, and so I just sat and watched it. And when Ali asked him about, what films do you like to watch? He said, I like small films, I really like the stuff done by Ben Wheatley, and it showed the Free Fire poster, and I was like, so very on topic. So if you didn't watch that, go and watch them, they're really, really interesting. So I just want to quickly talk about, has anyone heard of the, I'm pretty sure they're a distribution company called A24.
I've seen like the thing, like the beginning of like films and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the logo and stuff like that.
That'd be a really small piece of paper.
Don't ask me, I'm not the one to ask after the other day.
Yeah, I've only heard people like mention it by name.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall anything.
Okay, so A24 are basically a company that was founded in 2012 by three American guys, and you will definitely know some of the films that they've chosen to distribute. So kind of the way that they work, because I had to do some like research on it myself, and it's really interesting, so that's why I just kind of wanted to talk about it for a minute. So their kind of motto, or what they kind of base their company values off, is there exists an audience interested in movies told from a distinct point of view. So that's their thing. So they're all about storytelling and all that, which is really interesting. And what they do is they'll support new up-and-coming directors, filmmakers, movies. So some of the stuff that they've done, so let me know if you've seen any of these. So Lighthouse, which is coming out soon.
Oh, I really want to watch that.
It looks so good, doesn't it?
I think it looks really good, yeah.
In Fabric, which is with, oh my gosh, her name's completely slipped my mind, but Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah,
Gwendolyn Christie, that's it. The Death of Dick Long, which was like...
Great name.
It's been
Nice.
It's really good. It's basically dubbed as one of the best films of this year so far.
Yeah.
And it looks really different.
Yeah, I remember seeing it like advertised and stuff and thinking like, exactly the reaction we just had, be like looking at the thing and I was like, it's a good name.
Yeah, the poster's literally fireworks coming from his penis from behind.
Yeah.
That's literally the poster.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Literally. And Midsummer and Hereditary
Oh.
were distributed by them.
I've not
and
seen either
Lady
of those,
Bird. No, I know
I've heard
about
that
them, and it's kind of putting me off them because I'm not good at those
right.
kind of films.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, even just from that list, you'd think indie, small, independent little things. But they've got a formula that works, and so Free Fire was part of some of their up-and-coming films. So, for example, I found this really, really interesting. Have you ever heard of South by Southwest?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I've not, no.
So this is basically like a convention that happens in Texas, just for like gaming, music, arts, film, all that kind of good stuff. And like I say, it's held in Texas, and what A24 did, because they realised that obviously like you've got to target like the young generation as well, because obviously like we're the new age of the audience. And what they did when Ex Machina,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Have I said
good
that
film.
right?
Oh, that film.
Okay.
Good film.
I called it Ex Machina for so long, and then
Yeah, I
someone
did
said
when I
Machina, and
first-
I was like, have you said that wrong? Sorry. What they did was they set up a Tinder profile for Ava, the main character. You'd match with her, and she would basically just send you the most weird existential crisis like questions in the world, like what does it mean to be human? What does this da-da-da-da? Really interesting.
And then she just got dick pics back, I assume.
Probably. Do you know what she probably did?
Imagine being the guy having to go through all of those.
Well,
Tinder
the last
employee,
thing she'd
just
send
like,
you.
No, it wouldn't even be.
is a
Would
link.
it be like a studio guy? He's just like,
A runner.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah, but
oh
can
man,
you
I can't wait to be in the
imagine that?
film industry, and then he just has to do that, and he's like,
Sorting through dick.
Yeah.
and his parents are like, oh, how's the film industry?
How am
Yeah, it's
I
alright,
feel sorry
don't
for
worry
the
about it, it's
saddos.
good, it's good.
I feel sorry for those guys who were like, oh, I've just matched with this really good looking girl. Gets a bit weird, and then they just sent a link to an Instagram page for a film. You'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, so I find that really, really interesting. And when we finish the podcast, I highly recommend you go and look at the merch page, which I didn't even know existed, but they sell some of the weirdest merch you will have ever seen. Like, go and have a little look. It's just odd. But that is to buy into their niche. And also, one of the main things that they do with their films is that they will just buy the film. So instead of how modern studios work, the creators are allowed to just create what they want. They do everything they want. There's no studio basically saying, this is how you've got to do it. Do it like how we want it, otherwise we're not buying your film. They'll just let them get on with it, and then they'll buy the film, which I find really interesting.
Is it like thingy though? Is it like do they fund the film, or is it like people
Well,
have made a film from other funding?
There was a lot for Free Fire. I noticed a lot of companies involved. Like at the start,
Yeah.
you had Studio
Yeah.
Canal in there. Film 4 was involved.
Were the
Yeah.
National Lottery involved in this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought they
Whoa.
were.
Mad. Everyone getting on the film scene, you know what I mean?
I know, but this is the thing that I love about like the English or British film scene, is that we do encourage a lot of small independent films, and we do kind of push up coming filmmakers, and that is so, especially considering most of us in this chat, as that's like where we're trying to break into.
Yeah.
That is so amazing, and it's so nice. Jacob is going to be like an extra for us, so don't worry, it's fine.
What's new? That's fine.
So yeah, I just really wanted to quickly touch on that before we get into the film. So let's just get into the film. Like I say, I'm going to do what we've been doing the past couple of weeks, where we kind of go through the plot, but like we've said, there's not much of a plot to this, so we're just going to talk about bits and things like that. So the opening scene is we see everybody outside waiting to go in to the building to do like this arms deal. It took me a while to realise that these guys were the IRA.
Yeah.
I like when I heard it weirdly because I knew that this film was it's set like in the 70s or something, isn't it? Or like the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 70s, but
it doesn't actually say, does it?
no.
But like I don't know how, I don't know where I've required this information, but I went into this film knowing that it was in the 70s, and I was like, oh, this film's set in the 70s. And I was like, why do I know that? Where did I get that
if
information
you
I
look
mean,
at some
the
of the
clothes and
marketing
the mustaches.
stuff as
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's a giveaway when you watch the film, but when you said it, I was like, oh, it's that film set in the 70s that came out the other week. And so when I
There
heard
you
the
go.
Irish accent, I was like, probably IRA or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, it surprised me that I knew when it was set without having any knowledge of the film already, without having seen
I mean,
the
that is
trailer or
weird.
anything. Like, actually, no, I saw the trailer on the cinema, and I was like half watching it. So you know,
Love
it's
that.
like limitless with all the information. That's just at the back of my head just goes. Like
It's a smart way they do it, because obviously when you put the pieces together and you realise that it's an Irish group and the time period, you go, oh yeah, obviously it's the IRA, but like in not directly say, because obviously they want you to sympathise with a lot of them as the movie goes on, and if you say that right up front, these are the IRA, that's a very difficult thing to do. Very difficult thing to do. It's like I've still not seen it yet, but I still really want to watch Jojo Rabbit, and
Yes,
obviously
I was gonna say this.
that's gonna
I
get
thought you
you
meant
to
this film then.
No.
I thought you not seen Free Fire yet. I was like, a bit late, but
I've still not seen Jojo Rabbit, but obviously that movie's
Yeah.
about a group of kids who are Nazis, but that's going to get you to sympathise with them as well. But it has to specifically choose the Hitler Youth to do it. Like, you couldn't just do it with a random group of Nazis. You wouldn't get away with it. So I think it was smart of the way this film didn't directly say that's who they are, put two and two together, you know exactly who they are.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? So we're introduced to one of my favourite characters just because of how much of a fucking idiot he is, Stevo. And his mate, who I always forget the name of, even writing it down, I just put can't remember name. Oops. And he's mentioning about how I was beat up the night before. You don't kind of know what it's about, but what this film does is it's quite good at setting up things for it to all then tie in. And so once you've seen the film, you're like, oh, he mentioned that. That's quite interesting. And then, obviously, we then meet Frank and Killian Murphy's character, Christopher, and then Justine, who is Brie Larson. We find out that Frank is actually Stevo's uncle as well. I don't know if you guys heard that at all. It's a lot of conversation in this. You've got to just listen. And so it's one of my favourite lines when Armie Hammer's character is, like, walking towards them. I can't remember who said it. I think it's Frank. He's just like, I don't like his jumper. Like, they're saying, like, all these just ridiculously little things. Yeah. Oh, was it? There we go. And, like me saying it then, it's not funny. But when you watch it in the context of the film, it's just all these little silly things, and you're like, that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not, it's not trying to be a full-on comedy, but it's having fun with it. That's the way I see it.
There's one character that's a full-on comedy, and I can't wait until he gets on in the film. Like, he's got some golden lines.
Yes.
But yeah, otherwise, I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, he's my second favourite. I love him. So obviously, like you said, Joe, there's a lot of 70s music, so you've got kind of this... For me, as well, having this kind of music, I don't know... I've not really seen these films, so I don't know if I am right. But, like, a lot of the British gritty crime... films like is it Lock, Stock and like Two Smoking Barrels? That's instantly the ones that come to mind with like this kind of like
Snatch and things like that.
Yeah, Snatch. That's exactly it. So I kind of got that vibe from it, but kind of taking the piss out of it. But like I said, I've not seen them, so I was going to ask you guys if that even is just true.
I mean, it's the same. I'd say it's the same kind of film-ish in a different way. Like with like Snatch, for example, that one's like really. This one's a more subtle version of what Snatch is. So Snatch is really like over the top. Like you've got like bits where it zooms in really quick and there's like a gunfire going off and it's all like really like that. Like it's all like it's coordinated things, like everyone turning around looking at the camera all at once. And this film, it has elements of that, but it's more I feel like this film weirdly is like a realistic take on what this situation is. So like this kind of all these like guys are like, they're all buying guns and it's all like a big action movie style set piece and it's like a realistic take on it. So they're all like cracking jokes and they're all like, oh, you fucking stuff like that. He's like, oh man, I don't like his jumper. Like realistic thingy. And then I'll talk about more when we get into like the actual main thing of it. Good. But yeah,
amazing. Proceed. The only kind of bit of like film theory stuff I wrote down was lots of shadows. The place is shrouded in mystery. That's it. That's as much film theory I think you're going to get out of this from me. So then we do meet Vernon, who is the South African. He's like a bit of a dick. We get some, like Sam said, amazing one-liners from him. Like, he's still quite light-hearted, but he's like, you can tell he's quite tense, and he's just like...
Yeah.
It's what he says to Justine when he's like, you put on a bit of weight. Someone get you pregnant? It's all just a bit awkward, but quite funny at the same time. And Brie Larson has a fab character. She's just like the whole time she's just like, why the hell am I here? Like,
do you know what? Do you know what? Honestly, I had a bit of a problem with Brie Larson's character.
Did you? Okay.
I love and adore Brie Larson, but I don't know who wrote this movie. I don't know if it was Ben Wheatley or someone else. But I don't think the script was very good. And I think one of the problems that really shone through for me was a very narrow-minded idea of what it is like to write strong women. And by that, they just have almost her entire character is her going, men, for the whole movie. And
I get that.
I agree, men. But, like, if you actually want to have, like, an empowering, strong woman... Don't take writing advice from Mike Miller. Actually try and like talk to some women and write more of a character. And I know there's like because all of the dudes in this have strong characterizations.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
she's the one woman, and all she gets is men and a love story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty weak sauce, man. It just feels like you wanted, like, Brie Larson to be in your movie, so you gave her the bare basics of female role.
Yeah.
See, this is why you're a scriptwriter, because I wouldn't have seen that. Like, that's interesting. I'm looking on that in a completely different way. I'm glad you've said that. So then we meet Watson as well, who was Vernon's, like, right-hand man, if we're going to call it that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And, like, he's kind of this quite, like, smart, intelligent guy. He's quite, like, quiet and just being, like, trying to get on with it. But, he, like I say, he's kind of subtly introduced, but then later on is very much a comedic plot point. Yeah. And obviously something's already gone wrong. Like, you know, Killian's like, oh, this isn't what we ordered. And he's like, you're a bit rude, eh? And all this, like, I can't do a South African accent, but, like, I really want to say the lines. So, yeah, Vernon's character is just amazing. I just want like a super cut or whatever it's called of just all of his lines. Like, fab. And he's always there, like, my suit, you know, I got it on Savile Row, bitches. Like, his priorities just fucking all over the place. Yeah. So then we have this kind of, he tests the guns and it's all very chaotic and, like, and then, oh no, I got a bit more film theory. Is this foreshadowing? Don't know. And that's when we meet Guy and Harry. And they come in and they've got all the guns, and you can see I'm kind of glossing over it because it is just talking. There's not much to talk about. And then you can kind of see that Harry's got, like, these grubby knuckles and, you know, it's all of this stuff. And then he puts, like, John Denver on, which is obviously quite a big point throughout the film as well. And then, so as they're coming in, John Denver's playing and it's really loud. And we're just going to spoil it, so I will say it. But, like, that, I think, is quite ironic that he's coming in playing this John Denver song and all this. That is then quite key to the character he's about to meet, Stevo. Because of the way things go on a bit later, which I find really interesting. And then there's a moment that I really liked, and it was quite subtle, actually, when Killian Murphy's character, I'm not going to call them by their names, I was calling by the actors because it makes it easier for, like, all of us. He kind of looks down and notices that there's bullet holes on this, like, corner of something, but kind of, like, plays it off as nothing. And part of me was like, is that him noticing that, like, this room has been used for foul play before? Like, does you reckon he has this moment of, like, nah, it's probably nothing. I didn't shoot that, but, like, it's probably fine.
I mean, there's definitely like, because even from the start, even before something goes wrong, there's, like, so many layers of, like, people preparing to, like, backstab one another. Ord's already got, like, I mean, they've all got guns, but, like, Ord's got a pistol ready when Killian Murphy's got the AI-17 in his hands. Yeah. We later learned that, like, another Irish guy, Leary, was going to come and meet them later anyway. Was he supposed to be, like, beefy backup? Was he going to, like, we don't know why he was coming, but we do know he was told to wait, sort of thing. So, yeah, I get the sense that, like, he knows something's up.
Yeah. Not his first rodeo. Bang guns. In a Dodge warehouse.
Amazing. So Vernon starts trying to make, like, the small talk, and, like, someone pulls him away. He's like, what are you doing? I'm mingling. And it's just like, I've never related to something so much in my life. Like, I'm so shit at mingling. And then, so we have this big altercation between Harry and Stevo, and it's all like, oh god, what? How do they know each other? And then you kind of, through them all gibbering and all this, you kind of hear that, oh, it has something happened with my cousin. And then you find out that, obviously, his cousin was bottled by Stevo for not sucking his dick. Simple. So, like, Stevo's a dick. Like, he just is. And the one thing I found throughout this film as well, this is in regards to the camera making, and I think this is definitely evident in scenes like this where it's all very chaotic. People have said that the one thing that they definitely don't like about how this film was made is that Wheatley chose to do a lot of it as handheld camera. Now, Joe, you'll understand this. Like, they basically just not put it on a tripod or any sort of, like, steady cam, and they've just all over the place. What do you guys think of that? Did you notice?
I liked it, but I'm not as bad with it anymore, because, like, I don't know if anyone here has seen the thick of it.
No, I've never heard of it.
I've not
It's a
actually,
really
no.
good old BBC comedy. It's on Netflix. I would recommend.
Oh, doesn't it have Thingy in it?
It's got Peter
The guy-
Capaldi in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Is it the one where he's like swearing all the time?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I've seen the clips from it. Yeah.
It's really, really funny. But that is all handheld as well.
Yeah.
And the early seasons are quite shaky. But I have watched and rewatched that show, and I have adjusted completely. So I didn't even, honestly, Amelia, I did not even clock.
Well, there you go. That's interesting.
I noticed it sometimes. The only times I noticed it when they were like really close to the cat, like it was like close ups. Because I feel like the closer you get, the more noticeable shaky, handheld is.
Yeah.
It's like if you get like you're just doing handheld from a distance, you don't really notice it because there's not a lot immediately in the frame to be shaking. But when it's like really close, that's when it gets like really jarring, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, moving around.
It's quite disorienting.
So what's happening with your camera now?
Yeah, literally,
It's like pretty much, yeah.
literally like it's. So I noticed it when it was close, like the bits where they were like lying down behind the pillars and things, and they were talking to each other like that. And it was shaking a bit. I didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't a bad thing. I quite liked it. But it was... The only time I was a bit thingy with it was when it was happening when nothing really was going on. Like, when they were just chatting. And it was just shaking. And I'm like, just fucking put it down. Just stop shaking the camera. I'm trying to listen. trying to watch. And they're just like... It's just it. But, yeah, it's mostly unnoticeable.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
What did you think, Jacob?
I thought, hey, they're filming things here. All this- Honestly, I wasn't sure if it was deliberate to be, look how intense the situation is. They're all like exhausted and tired and they've been shot like 6 times and still alive. Wouldn't you also be a bit, can't fucking focus, you can't even like stay still, your eyes are just...
Yeah.
I thought it was more to do with that than just...
It probably was. It probably was.
I think it was... They probably made the decision, maybe for that reason, maybe, but I don't think it took away from the film.
I always think, from like a filmmaking point of view, that handheld. I mean, this might just be me, and like with like when we do stuff, but doing handheld is so much easier than doing stuff on a tripod, which sounds really weird.
No, it really is.
But you can just take it off, and you can be like, "All right, okay, let's just do it," and I'll just do what I want. I'll just go into the. You can just move the camera wherever you want, but so that's like something you always get in like student films. Is they're like, it's this really intense scene, so like, oh, it's really intense, so we can do it handheld, and they don't plan it. They just kind of like, right, do the same. We'll just film like, oh yeah, whoa, crazy, oh my gosh, she's so sad. Zoom. That's the kind of. I mean, that doesn't
Sounds
happen
like
in this.
Is it Parks and Recreation, the one that zooms?
Well, yes, things like that.
I love
Films like
those
Parks
zooms.
and Recs and The Office and like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is filmed.
Yeah,
it's filmed in that style, even though it's not meant to be like a doc, like The Office and thing.
No, it still uses it though. Yeah,
but it still uses like the thing where it like zooms in ever so slightly, and you just that it works there. But it's when they don't plan it, which I mean, I don't know why I'm talking about this because they do plan it in this film. It's not like random thingy, but yeah, that's when it doesn't work, when they just go mad with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not like thingy about it. That's what we used to do in the first year of cut in uni. It's like, oh, it's a really intense scene. Let's just take it off the tripod. It'll be fine. But yeah, so. But yeah, I feel like that might be part of the reason they did it so much. I mean, I don't know if it could be. I've just remembered that was my original point. Is because it's easier to film handheld. So if they're like,
especially scenes where they're in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're not going to bother setting up any sort of Steadicam tripod down near
exactly
the ground, are
it's
they?
really hard to get a tripod to limbo that low. So
and also because you've got it's because your set is wrecked and lots of uneven floors. You've either got to spend ages leveling on your tripod to make it even anyway, or just leveling the floor, and both are going to cost you more money because it's going to take like more time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, handheld, easier option. Go for it.
There you go for you want to be filmmaking fans out there.
Jacob.
You're going to do it at some point.
A Steadicam rig would probably be okay as well, but no.
Yeah, no.
And
yeah.
had
There's
just
some
standard.
sick, some of the new ones.
Yeah, just like
Love this. So getting back into the film. That was a good divergent, though. I love it. So Stevo tries to apologise, and he's just a prick, and he just can't, and it just makes things a whole lot worse. And then we get the first gunshot where Harry shoots Stevo in the shoulder. And that just kind of starts it all off. We get this lovely scene where it's all just silence, and you're just like, oh God, here we go. This is what I came to see, I guess. And so, yeah, it's just, there's no sound, it's just chaotic, it's all a bit fab.
I thought they played that wrong.
Do you think?
This is my opinion, yeah. I thought they took the wrong tone with it when they slaughtered everything. The thing is, because Stevo is a cunt. Oh, that's a bad word. Whoa.
You're gonna have to beep that one out.
just like 30 seconds beforehand, you learn he's tried to sexually assault someone, failed, and then physically assaulted someone. And then in his apology, he's like, "No, I did sexually assault her. I came in her mouth." Like,
yeah,
I
thought that.
It's not. He's not a cool guy. So when it slows down and does sad music, I thought it was the wrong tone because I didn't care about him as I didn't mind that he got hurt. I thought,
that's
good.
True.
And I think they should have, in order to actually ramp up the intensity, they should have gone all the other way, and maybe even sped things up a little bit as everyone just diverts and tries to find some cover. Kind of
that probably would have been funnier as well.
Kind of like in Baby Driver when Hocus Pocus kicks off and everyone just fucking bails in like a million different directions. It might have been better to take things faster than slower because I thought, I don't know, just wrong tone.
Yeah. That probably would have been actually cooler.
See, I thought it was still like ambiguous as to whether he did or didn't. Because while he said that he did, just at the end, I thought he was just saying that just to piss him off.
Oh yeah, he was definitely doing it to piss him off.
And at that point, I wasn't sure if he was admitting it or just lying to get a reaction. Because, and again, because to begin with, he was saying he didn't, and then they started beating him up because someone else said he did. Like, we never really found out what the exact truth was. And I suppose the slow-mo, I felt, was worked in the sense that this was always going to be a doomed situation. Like, it was destined that this is what was going to go wrong. There wasn't any scenario where there was going to be a good outcome. It was always going to end this way. And it was just, like, the inevitability that was, like, hitting you of, okay, this was always going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
No, I agree.
That is fair.
So we then get a shot which kind of, when I first saw it, I was like, why did they add this shot in? It just didn't need to be. Was it just for filler? When they show the outside of the building. And so part of me, looking back on it and rewatching it a couple of times, part of me feels like that is meant to be kind of where the the shooter guy who comes in to like try and sniper everyone.
Yeah.
Is that like from his point of view and giving us the idea of who else is here? Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe.
See, when I saw that, I thought that they were trying to do like a comedy thing, where like all this like gunfighting and whatever's just gone off, and everyone's just all these loud things, whatever. And when you hear that naturally in the real life, everyone be like, "Oh my god, there's gun just shooting or whatever." But then when I saw that bit where it cuts to the outside, I just assumed it was them being like making a joke about the fact that they're in the middle of a warehouse and there's no. You know what I mean? It's just silent. No one's bothered. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought that cutaway was. I mean, I didn't. It could have been the guy though. Like, looking at his point of view. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that.
This
is why I love talking about films because everyone looks at it in such a different way, and it's fab. So then, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep this nice quick for us. So Martin gets shot. And he's just gone, and like we just realised that okay, this is hectic. Everyone's just shooting whoever. And one of the things when I first saw this film, I saw this in the cinema, and I saw this at my local cinema. There was actually no one in there. No one had bothered to go and see it. But one of the really cool things, and one of the reasons why it is really good to go and see a film in the cinema when you get a chance, is when you've got moments where they're all kind of hidden, all in the warehouse at different points. When you're in the cinema, the audio, it's really well done, and like you can hear like Killian Murphy's
like surround sound and stuff.
Yeah, it's really good, and it kind of gets you in that moment.
It's like when they're shouting from behind you, and you're like,
it's I love things like that. It's creepy for like scarier films and like more intense films, but it's fab. So before he obviously drops down, Martin signals for the guy outside to start shooting, and he basically just starts shooting people. Vernon gets there's a bit where Vernon's walking across. I can't remember which bit it is, but he gets his hand stuck in glass. Anything to do with glass freaks me out.
Is it the bit? Isn't it like a syringe or something? It gets stuck in his hand.
No,
it's a syringe,
and
it's like, it's well minging.
I hate it. Anything like that.
Yeah,
no,
gross. No, gross.
So yeah, there is I've literally in my notes it says lots of rolling on the ground.
Yeah.
Because that, like you said to me, Sam, earlier today, that basically is the film. Everyone's just kind of. There's nothing, like I said at the beginning, there's no plot progression, there's no character progression. It is just literally just everyone rolling around in some dirt for a couple of hours or minutes or whatever the film is.
Well, my main thing with this film was, I reckon when I was watching it, it's obviously like it's shorter than like a feature film is, obviously.
Yes.
But I was thinking about it like I still think it's too long for what the story is. I thought that this concept of the whole thing existing in like the one warehouse and it's the whole thing and whatever, I think it would have worked better as an episode from like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, whereas like this is the example I thought because it's Killian Murphy, but like an episode of Peaky Blinders where the whole episode they go in to get guns or whatever. And
it's like a whole episode.
The whole episode,
It would be like a cliffhanger episode, like just before a mid-season break or something, or even just the season finale.
It would only be like
that.
It'd be like.
This is an exercise in like limitations, but also like, what if you take something that's normally one scene in a big action movie, the gun deal? Can you extend that to a full feature?
That's interesting.
And whether or not they were successful, I don't think creatively they were hugely. There was a lot of problems with it, and I do agree. Like it would have been stronger had it been shorter. But like the idea of making that challenge in the first place, these are sort of movies that I kind of do adore, and it's weird because I don't plan at the end of this show to give it a very high rating, but I do very much enjoy that this movie exists. Like one of my favorite movies of all time. Has everyone seen Attack the Block?
Yes. I've heard of it but never seen it.
Fucking
Attack
the Block.
Oh.
Alien
Is that the one with
John Boyega?
John Boyega, yeah.
Alien invasion, but it's all in an apartment block in London instead of like a full. And it's
brilliant.
Stunning.
So
and that's another like good example of like accept your limitations and take them on as a challenge. So I love that these sorts of movies exist, even if they don't get it right. I think everyone that worked on this movie probably came away learning something. Yeah, and that's valuable. That's very valuable.
I wasn't sure if it was a coincidence or not that the runtime was an hour and a half, and there's a bit where Armie Hammer's character's like, "Oh yeah, if you've been shot, you've got an hour and a half till you die." Like that's the golden hour bit. And I thought,
maybe.
Okay, then. Is that why it's? Because I remember looking at it, and the runtime, I think, was an 1 hour, 30 minutes and 17 seconds on the version I watched, or however they cut it differently. And I thought, it's odd that it's bang on pretty much an hour and a half. Because often it's like 1:29 or it's just a bit over. It's never exactly. I wasn't sure if that was something they took into consideration, but...
I mean, I'd like to think it is.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
So there's a bit where Brie Larson's character and Harry shoot each other, literally just for the sake of shooting each other. And like you say, that this kind of links back, like you say, Sam, to your point, where she's kind of doesn't do much now. I look at it, does she?
Not a lot, no.
It's just like let the girl leave. She can leave because she's a female and got a vagina.
Yeah.
Great.
Like Vernon literally to say like get the bird to do it. They're not gonna shoot a bird. I can't do a South African accent either.
Yeah, but you want to, don't you?
I do want to because his lines are so good. There's a bit like around here where he's with Harry, and I can't remember what he says. Like he says something ridiculous to Harry about like, it was like, prove your worth. Get the case for me.
I'll give you my Rolex.
Like, claim your redemption. and then Harry's like, is everyone like you where you're from? And he goes, nah, Vern's a one of a kind jewel. Watch and Vern.
I
love that line so much.
Good.
Amazing. Oh, it's utterly amazing. I'm just looking at it like, did we mention that? I can't remember. Do you know what you need there? That music was like do do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Armie Hammer's character is really fucking chill throughout the whole.
Super
of this
chill.
film.
I love him.
He loses his like cool a couple of times, but he's pretty much just like, what the fuck, we doing this? But why? Who? Oh fuck, I'm just going to do it myself. Like, he's so cool. And then obviously, Stevo's mate dies, the one who sadly we do not remember his name. He's just like slowly walking through, like, no one's gonna hit me, no one's gonna hit me.
I know, yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Utter idiot. Who does that? Like, for real.
They just honestly think that he's invisible or something like that.
That's what because he's like dying words were like, I'm invisible, no one can see me.
He didn't fire a single shot at all, though, did he?
No.
I don't think he did.
So
No.
I don't think he even had a gun. So which is weird because he was supposed to be like one of the enforcers for the Irish, and
Didn't even
have a gun.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
So I reckon he's just shit scared of violence.
Probably,
So
yeah.
Yeah, like being pushed into it by like his dad, like fucking go off you pop, join the IRA.
Go do some violence. Make sure it's violent.
That's fab. Stevo proves he is even more of a see you next Tuesday. He's like, I'm grieving here, like, da-da-da, and he's just stealing his crack.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. It was the actually.
Yeah. He pulls a tin out from yeah.
And, like,
I didn't even notice. Oh my god.
Is this like a genuine druggy thing? Because like people that I used to go to school with and anyone that I've met who does any sort of illegal substance, it's always in one of these little cough sweet tins.
Maybe it's like part of like the thing.
It's
like
convenience thing, I guess. Because it's not like they sell. Oh, definitely not illegal drugs. Little cough sweet tin. So
That's where I would keep my drugs. To be fair.
Yes.
I mean, I think I'd want to be like proper imaginative with it. Like I'd find like some crazy unnecessary hiding place where I'd have to press a button on one side of the room and it opens like a secret door on the other side of the room, which reveals like a lever.
Carry that around with you.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
Your whole bedroom in your back pocket, can you?
I'll do something else then. I'll have like in my bag. It'll just be a bag, but then you press a button on the bottom and then it opens a thing in the back, and then you pull down a lever, and then I gotta go to like a certain lamp on a certain street, and then I've just got like a tiny bit of weed in it or something.
You're definitely a crack dealer.
And then if I had crack, I'd just keep it in my pocket. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even.
I don't think you quite grasp the idea of an addict, Joe.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I mean,
Definitely
I'm pretty
not,
sure they're not going to go through all of that. They're just going to have it in a little cough sweet tin in their back pocket.
See, this is the thing though, right? I don't have one of those in my house. So, if I had one of those, it would be weird. You know what I mean? I don't know. If I saw that in someone's house, I'd be like, that's definitely a crack tin or something like that.
It's like the biscuit, the biscuit box at your grandma's. And if you open it and there's biscuits in, something's wrong. Because actually there's knitting stuff in there.
Literally, yeah. In there. See, it's just, I mean, I said that I don't have one of those in my house. I know that my nan has tins like that in my house.
Whoa.
So I'm not going to go into her house and be like, oh, that's a crack tin. My nan's.
Maybe.
When I does it a time.
If you go over at any point, please can you record yourself opening said crack tin?
All the tins.
Yeah, but then what if there's actually crack in there? What do I do? To report her or what? It's my nan, I don't want to.
You just close it and pretend you haven't seen it, surely.
Yeah, but...
My nan's a crack dealer.
Oh, man. Oh, what if she's actually the dealer? Oh, no, this is getting too real.
I'm sure your nan is fine.
It's getting too real. What she grows in a loft? I've never been in my nan's loft.
Weren't you telling me that she's got loads of money? This is where it's coming from, Joe.
There you go. That's it. I've never... There's part, like... yeah, literally, I've never been in my nan's loft, so... Could have been in there. Could be in there.
Who knows?
She always told me that it was unstable floor, but... I'm just saying.
The more you know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, my nan a crack deal or whatever, like, so, Free Fire.
Yeah, anyway. So, we have this whole situation with the snipers shooting people, and then Howard who is the sniper, is just about to give it away, and in classic movie style, Sam's dying here.
God, Joe, you've killed him.
Wait, you're still laughing at the
think it was your shitty segue.
I'm gonna go over here to have some food.
It's absolutely.
Well, while he's laughing, I'm gonna have a better sandwich.
You've still got that fucking.
I've only eaten half of it. I've just got a fucking sandwich next to me here, just staring me in the face.
What kind of sandwich is it?
Chicken and bacon lettuce.
Do you have to check by opening your sandwich?
Yeah. Oh no, it's in a Tesco thing. It's a Tesco meal deal, so...
You're eating it in a minute, and you don't know what's in the sandwich.
I bought it like an hour ago, I can't remember.
It's in your mouth, Joe.
You don't know what's in it.
Now I'm gonna wee. Oh.
Oh no. My jaws clicked while I'm laughing while I'm eating. Oh, I'm in so much pain. Oh man. It's fine, I'll just spend the rest of the episode like this.
I'm gonna like.
I presume that's because it's cold, right?
Yeah, it's not even that cold anymore though, that's the problem.
I'm just laughing at Sam.
Right.
Every now and again he just wheezes and I can't.
The wheeze.
Right.
Like, let's wrap this up. We're fucking.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Like every film like this that has an absolutely no plot, we need a new incentive. So if phone rings in the distance and it's like, there's a phone in this building, so there's like, the next stage of this film is basically everyone scrambling to try and get the phone to call in their own backup to win. That's basically the end of the film. So like, Armie Hammer's character and Killian Murphy's character are just having like this scrap, and like this like very Michael Bay-esque explosion just goes off for no reason.
It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Well, they shoot the gas canisters that are there.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't notice that.
Because they all start like pinging everywhere because like the ends of them come off and because it's like compressed, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They fling across and they like start smacking people in the face.
It's like in that one game where that happens. It happens in a game and I can't remember which game.
Any game ever where it's a shooter. Oh, red canister, shoot that.
But just the way it like topples over and then goes and shoot. Yeah.
Something Fallout.
There's a bit in that same scene I love where Vernon's walking across the ground, crawling across the ground, and he's like wearing cardboard armor. And he's like, it's protection from infection.
Protection from infection.
He's just an idiot, and he's fab.
Yeah.
And Justine manages to get out, but she's being like followed. And so,
What's his name? That guy. I didn't catch his name either.
Or the character.
Was it Guy?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Guy. That guy.
Good memory. Wow.
No, I find it really weird that actor has played Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's dad and Adolf Hitler.
What?
Yeah, in the Johnny Depp one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Mad.
Yes.
Wait, so was he British then? That actor. Oh, see that's the thing with this movie. Actually, I've just remembered the accents in this film. Some of them are really good, others aren't.
Yeah.
Like the guy we're literally on about. He had like a proper stereotypical like Brooklyn. Like I was waiting for him to say, "Hey, I'm walking here." I was waiting for him to do that, like full on. I was like, "Oh my gosh, shut up! You clearly are from wherever it is."
Killian Murphy did a good job with Irish, definitely.
Isn't he Irish though?
He is Irish.
Fuck, he is. Yeah.
That's probably why.
I've not seen enough things with Killian Murphy in this.
Sam, you know what?
In everything, he's never Irish. That's why.
You've said that though, and Sam, you know what? Your English accent's really good. I've just realised right now, it's so good.
Fuck you.
Teach you how to do it.
You're such a bitch. What happened?
But yeah,
Amazing.
no, that was the thing. I thought that the accents, like, it was weird because the accents are all kind of. It's like when you watch Fargo, and the whole point of it is that they've got a funny accent, and that's what it was like.
Talking about the one with Martin Freeman and.
Well, no, both. Well, mainly the film as well, but the TV show as well. You get that kind of the Minnesota kind of accent, and in the film, part of the not comedy, but they've all got this really kind of innocent sounding accent, and they're all doing all these vines. They're all like so friendly, but like people are getting chopped up and things. And I got the same kind of vibe from this, is that everyone had very certain accents, and they spoke in a very certain way. I mean, that might just be me. I don't know, but point is, one of them wasn't good. So yeah,
funny. So we get this whole scene where Harry is basically trying to get the keys from Martin, who is lying unconscious or dead, they're not quite sure, and he just fucking bolts up back from the dead, and suddenly he's a gangster.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if that's because like this whole act of him being like really intelligent and little is like an act, and then really he's just a hard motherfucker. He's just like, oh, what the fuck, everything's gone wrong. Oh, what the fuck did I? Oh, you're dead. What the fuck did I employ you for? You know, like. I don't know.
Yeah.
He goes fucking
well,
crackhead.
he does, there is, like, glimpses of him, like behind Vernon's back, like, rolling his eyes and being like, fucking, like clown. But I also, it was like, I got this, like, dual sense of, like, he gets up and he's just like, yeah, he's gone full hard mode and he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. But there was also a little bit in me that I was like, because the very last thing he got told to do before he was shot was, like, get the money. So I almost wonder if just, like, this was a really over-dramatic version of that last impulse, like that last job that his brain's got to do. He's going to make sure he does it, like before he dies. You know, like
he hired the people.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Oh god, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not sure what he was trying to get out. I'm guessing he wanted to take all the money for himself. Then he was still
Wasn't
paying the two snipers anyway.
Yeah, but didn't him and Brie Larson have like a thing?
Yeah, they had a
yeah,
pact.
because she knew. Yeah.
Because when he stood up, he was shouting like for her, wasn't he? And he was calling her, like baby and things. And I was like, I was listening to it. I was like, why the fuck is he doing that? And then obviously at the end it reveals that they were together or whatever. But I thought it kind of. Well, I'll say it when we get to the end, but the end. Yeah.
So we kind of get this whole like kind of two people versus each other, and that's like how they all die. So, for example, Vernon is just set alight by Frank in that whole scene.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So that was all quite fun. And then, ironically, like, the phone call ended up being a scam. Like, like you've just won $100,000, like whatever it was.
I love
and,
that
like,
when Frank picks it up, he's like, "Hello." He's just genuinely.
Well, like picking up and hanging up straight away, so you can then call it. You're like, "Oh no, who could possibly be calling? Let's find out who it is."
No, that was quite good. And then that's when we get introduced to what did you say his name was? Sam, the guy. Leary. You might as well do this episode for me. You know fucking more than me. So he's walking in, and like part of he's like, who the fuck's this? Well, what the fuck? It's just like the owner of the building, and he's come down to check it out or whatever. But like, so that's all really interesting. Then Killian Murphy's character manages to crawl all the way upstairs. He finds Vernon just like a shriveled mess, and they all like have like this showdown. And then we have the over-the-top killing of Stevo and Harry, and they're just fighting, and he just like gives up on life almost. Like that. What did you think of that as a scene?
That whole thing is mega. Like starting off with like because Killian Murphy shoots Vernon in the face, and his face explodes.
Yeah,
and it's great. And then Harry drives over Stevo's head, and his head explodes. But as his head explodes, he shoots Harry in the ass and kills him. It's great. It's so over the top. Loved it.
Yeah.
I love that bit towards the end where Armie Hammer opens it up and goes, "Oh, I think they shot Harry in the ass."
Yeah.
That was quite funny. So everyone's just given up at this point. No one really knows. You like say, Stevo's got his head crushed, and all that's left is Armie Hammer, Killian Murphy, and Brie Larson. I love the irony of Killian Murphy just lying there. The sprinklers are all on, and behind him it's like the umbrella company.
It's a good shot.
I spotted that. I was like, "Oh, umbrellas."
I thought that was quite funny. And you think, oh, they're gonna get away. They're just gonna be chill with each other, and that's the end. Hell no! There is the twist ending where Justine pops a cap in Army's head. Was it his head?
Yeah,
Yeah. And like you say, there's this whole thing like, oh, we're going to have to get a rain check on that date. Again, she's basically just... She's been used for a plot device in the sense of, like, dating and all this.
Yeah.
And,
it wasn't like... It was a shame because you could tell she was doing her best, but those lines were just shit.
Yeah.
They were shit lines.
Do you feel like it was quite a rushed script, do you reckon?
I think some of it probably they just didn't bother to alter. I don't know if it was like rushed. Do you know what? I had this weird pushback once when I was at uni. There was this, and I won't name names, just in case anyone turns out to do well off, out of uni out of this. But there was this script someone was doing where it was pitched as, so it's a rom-com, right? That's first thing that anyone got told. It's a rom-com, and the conceit is that it's set in high school, and it's going to be in like a food tech class, and this boy wants to impress this girl, and they're going to have to make this food, whatever it is. So he's going to buy this this tool from like a TV shopping thing to like peel potatoes, right? And it's going to be sold as the best potato peeler in the world, but actually it's naff and cheap and rubbish. So when he goes to peel a potato, the blade pops off, hits something like on a wall, and then a Rube Goldberg machine sort of like all the class starts falling apart, right? Now that's fine enough, right? But they were going through the script and they were like, well, we need to shorten it. And what I picked up on when I was reading it was that even though this was a rom-com, said boy and said girl had only one interaction in the whole script. Wow. And the interaction was that when the classroom was falling apart, they both ended up under the table, and he said, do you want to get out of here? And she says nothing. She doesn't get a single line. She just sort of nods, right? It's like porn level fucking interaction between a boy and a girl. Like there was So I looked at it and I said, they said, well, what can we cut? And I said, cut the girl. This isn't a rom-com. There's no romance in this comedy. There's barely any fucking comedy in this comedy. There's no romance in this comedy. Cut the girl and just make it about this bad tool, whatever. That's like your Rube Goldberg machine is fine. But he gets like, the dude gets a lot of dialogue with his mate when he's talking about the girl. So I said, either, because there was a lot of pushback, well, we can't do that. We're not going to cut that. We'll do it through looks. Don't give her any fucking lines. Just we'll do it through looks. But anyway, they were like, there was pushback, and we can't cut the girl. So I said, right, we'll cut the mate and give her some fucking lines. But they weren't interested in doing it. So there is the chance that they just saw this bit as like it's the romance angle in the movie. We probably don't care about it enough to begin with, but we also don't want to cut it, so it's there. That's what it felt like.
No, I agree. And so the whole film ends with Brie Larson walking away, and you're like, is she gonna get away with this? Wee woo! No, she's not, bitch. No. Like whoever turns up, and she like almost breaks the fourth wall and like looks into the camera and goes,
yeah.
Well, fuck. And that's where this film ends, and that is the end of what I have to say.
I thought that the ending where it's like Brie Larson, she kills both of them, whatever. I mean, this might just be me, but for me, it felt like they were trying to make it a plot twist that she turned on them and killed him. But I saw it coming from a mile away.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I wasn't thingy, but I was like, I didn't see her doing that, being that like, I didn't see that happening at the end. I didn't see that, but I saw her not just, you know what I mean? I was like, there's something going to be at the end with her.
You weren't shocked.
She's going to do something at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't shocked by the fact that she turned against them, and I was like,
the way I think it's the way Arnie Hammer and Killian Murphy interact with each other in that bit where they're just like, what should we do now? Get a beer? Who's paying? It's kind of like, this movie can't just end like this. It can't just end here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a like anti-climax, so there's got to be something else. So when it does happen, you're like, well, that's the something else.
So it was like the way it happened in the film when when Armie Hammer got shot in the head. They do it as almost kind of like I wonder who shot me in the head. But when I watched it, he shot in the head, and I was like, oh, there's Brie Larson. She's back.
Yeah.
Like I knew that it was her before even seeing her, and that's the bit that I was kind of at the ending. And then it ended, and she was really surprised that police showed up, even though like the film is in real time. So we've been watching it for an hour now of them fighting. And she's surprised. I'm more surprised about the response the police. Why did it take them an hour to get there? I get that it's a warehouse in the middle of whatever, but like, oh my god, there's like gunfire and there's explosions and things. Like, you'd think the SWAT would arrive and they'd be like, oh god, let's get a helicopter or whatever. And then she's like, uh-oh, police are here. It's like, alright. And then it goes off and I'm like, okay. But yeah, that was my take on the ending. It was only okay. It's fine.
Very good.
Yeah.
Righto. Well, that was Free Fire. We're going to go round in a circle one by one, giving any final thoughts on the movie. And we are going to give it an individual score out of 10. And then I'm going to use maths to get an overall score out of 100. And we'll find out where it ranks on our list of the best to worst movies of all time. Amelia, start us off.
So Free Fire, it's not something that I picked, like I said at the beginning, to be really intellectual, for us to really talk about and get in depth. It's just something just to chat about and kind of do something a little bit smaller and a bit more kind of independent, because I don't want to just do a blockbuster every week, like with what Sam did. Doing something from a foreign country is so fun, and that's what I want our podcast to do. I want it to kind of give everything a chance, and so it's not going to be a high-scoring movie. It's just something that I'll probably watch every couple of years and be like, oh yeah, that was fun. So out of 10, I am going to give this film a 6.
6. Jacob.
So, I mean, when all those like production studio logos were coming up at the start, and I saw film 4, as we mentioned earlier, about Attack the Block, I saw that and thought, oh, okay, I love Attack the Block. Let's see what this is going to be like. And as we've sort of discussed, a lot of what happens is it just happens. Like, it didn't really feel like it was fully like a film. There's a lot of it where I was watching and just think, oh, kind of convenient how that gun jammed. Oh, that was the last bullet. Or, oh, I have to, like, where did they get all their magazines from? Like, they are constantly reloading those guns. And I get that it's a comedy. Sort of, but it didn't feel like it was a comedy. Like, Hot Fuzz is a cracking action comedy.
Yeah.
And you know straight out the gate you're gonna get like action and jokes and gore, which you do. And in this, it didn't quite feel like it knew which one it was. I mean, it
felt more like it lent on the action than the comedy. Yeah.
I wasn't sure what it was really.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it, but I didn't particularly like it. So straight down the middle. 5 out of 10.
5. Joe?
So mine's mainly kind of like what I was saying before, where I feel like even though it's a shorter movie, it's still too long for what it is. Like, it would have been better, I think, if they focused on one or the other. So like you were saying, it's like what you were saying with yours, Jacob. Like, when I saw the Channel 4 thing, I was like, oh, Channel 4, they make good films. Trainspotting is a Channel 4 film. So I was kind of going into this expecting it to be not Trainspotting, but like on the kind of that kind of film.
You have an expectation, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it kind of it felt like it could have just been like they could have cut like a lot of it out, a lot of the dialogue out, and if they'd focused on it being a comedy rather than both a comedy and an action, it maybe would have been better. Or if it was just action, maybe I don't know, but yeah, it would. I feel like Sam, do you remember the other day we were saying about how with like that the Batman film that's coming out and like the comic what was it, the Long Halloween? It's not one that you adapt into a film because it's too long.
Yes.
And then the Killing Joke's too short. But then like the Arkham Asylum comic is like the perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. It would perfectly adapt into a film. This concept is like that. I think the concept would perfectly adapt into an episode of a TV show, but not a film. It's too...
Something like Black Mirror, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It could be Black Mirror. It could be, like I said, Peaky Blinders. It could be any kind of TV show like that. But the concept, there's not enough in the concept for it to be...
a full feature.
Full feature, yeah. Like, they do a similar thing in Reservoir Dogs, don't they? But they fill it in with, like, flashbacks and things like that. And I think...
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs is, I think it's okay, but it's you fill it in with flashbacks. Whereas this, you're just watching it, and it's watching it in real time, and it's fine, and you're like, okay. But it would have been better if it was something else. Like if these characters were something, like if it was in like the second season of a TV show, and it's all characters that you follow throughout the TV show, you would have cared more about them. And when someone got shot, you'd be like, oh my god, it's that character just got shot.
It actually would have felt like a really... when you put it like that, it would have felt like a really special episode. Like the sort of thing that you really get excited to like rewatch.
Exactly, yeah. That's what it should have been. So, I don't know, because of that, like, I thought of that, like, just after the firing started, so that was my thought throughout the whole rest of the film.
Yeah.
So, because of that, I'm probably going to give this same as, like, everyone else, probably 5 crack dealing nans out of 10.
See, you can't cut that out now. That whole conversation, that's not going to make sense. So that has to stay in.
Oh, man.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
You've screwed him there, Joe.
It could just be an out of context joke. It's fine. The comedy would be everyone be like, "Did he just say what I think he said?" No, but yeah, no. 5 out of 10.
5.
That's mine.
I agree with basically everyone. I'm giving it a 5 as well, straight down the middle. I thought filmmaking wise, it was quite interesting. It's not spectacular filmmaking. It's just good. It's just solidly good. It looked quite pretty. There's some good shots in it. There was no. I commend them on one thing, which is the fact that there is basically no. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about the 180-degree rule on this show. There's like no line in the movie at all once all the fire starts breaking out. But I didn't feel anyway like I felt confused about where anyone was. Like, I was able to keep a good pace of like what everyone was doing and whereabouts they were in the warehouse, which that's an achievement. And I thought all of the actors turned in a really, really strong performance.
Yeah.
But I think creatively, if this was the idea, this challenge of like do a scene but as a full feature, I don't think creatively they quite pulled everything through, even though the crew and the cast did a really good job. So I straight down the middle again, I have to give it a 5, which total gives it 52.5 out of 100, placing it at number 7 on the objective list of best to worst movies of all time. Which now brings us to our most important segment of the show, which is where we find out what we're watching next week. Jacob, let us know.
Yes, so I've been struggling to try and find something because while we were doing spooky season, having like a select genre, I thought, okay, something spooky, easy. But when it's just anything, I thought, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And I thought I had 2 options. I can either pull a Bad Boys on you again and make everyone watch some shit.
Please don't do that ever again.
Who knows, maybe I will. Or I can abuse all your knowledge of films and stuff to explain something to me that I probably won't get straight away. Lucky for you, I've gone with that one. So, the film we're going to be watching for next week is going to be Memento.
Memento.
Good film.
I don't think I've seen that.
I haven't seen it either, so I thought...
Good film.
Is that the one with the narrative?
Yeah, that's the one they always use as the narrative.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I won't say anything else.
Yeah, you'll understand when you watch it, but it's a good film though.
I'm excited. That's one of the Nolan films I've not seen.
Yeah.
Fun.
Wait, has no one else seen it?
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Oh man,
first?
You're in for a ride.
Wait, Joe, have you seen it?
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, okay then. I wasn't sure if it was a film that none of us had seen before.
Oh no, I don't mind Christopher Nolan's meh. He's fine.
I agree, actually. Yeah.
He makes some good films. This is actually one of his good films. I think it's really good. It's really clever. But you'll see when you watch it.
I chose a good one.
Nice. Okay. Like we said at the start of the show, let us know what you thought of Free Fire in the comments below, and make sure to watch Memento and join us next week for that movie.
Bye.
Bye.
And we out.